Hey there everyone, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Welcome to part 2 of the tutorial for Firnen from the Eragon series by Christopher Paolini. So you should have completed part 1 and done about half of the wing. Okay, this part we will be doing the second half. Okay, alright, so we're going to start by creating the little claws at the bottom. Okay. I have made 3 of them. Of course, if you want to make and attach more along the way, you're more than welcome to. I did 3. Again, Zephyra's wing has 4 of those, as does Thorns, so if you want to do 4, that's fine, but I thought it would be fun to make him a little bit different from them. Alright, so for that part, you only need 1 loom. Okay, ignore what I have up here for now, just ignore those bands. Alright, so here we go. We're going to take 2 of the green apple at a time. And again, like I did before, you can intersperse these with the lime green and the neon green. Oops. Ooh. Broke. Or you could keep them all the same. Totally up to you. Maybe I'll do a lime green right there. Oops, that's not what I want. I try not to do the same, either the lime green or the neon green right next to each other. I try to keep them like kind of separated. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take 3 of the green apple. And I'm going to take 3 of the olive green. Or I'm sorry, the olive green. Not olive green, the peridot, so the shiny dark green. Okay, alright, let's do some horizontals, so taking 2 at a time of the green apple across there. Now I'm going to double loop green apple there, and I'm going to double loop green apple right here. Right here. Okay, we're going to do the claw at the bottom. So take your solar bands or your white bands, wrap around creating 5 loops, double loop and pull the cap band onto it, pull the loops back on the hook, do it again with another double looped band, and now take 3 and 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this claw we're going to attach right to the bottom, right here. Right, wrap all 6 loops around that peg, and then we're going to loop this up. Remember, we always want to do the top bands first. Okay, so this one we have to loop that diagonal, because those are at the top. So, that first. Then we can go up here. Alright, so there is 1. Let's tie this off and pull it off. Alright, so there is 1. Okay, so again, you need to do 3 for each wing. Okay. Again, my modeled bands are a little different on each one. That's totally up to you. Okay. Alright, now we are going to move to the double loom. Alright, I did not put any horizontal bands on here yet. And this red band is just to remind myself to put on the claw starting there. So ignore that. Red band. So again, this is just the membrane colors, apple green and lime and neon green. Okay, so you're just going to do 2 at a time starting from here down to here. which is the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th peg. Okay, and then you're going to do the next row, one set fewer, and same thing here, 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 and then after you finish that, then you will do this set, then this, then this, then this, then that. Okay, so that is the order that should be done in. We do not need to cap this off, okay? All right, so now you're going to take your half that we've completed, and you're going to find that set at the bottom where that like random one that sticks out with the 4 loops. And you're going to go through those loops, and let's just pull off that tying band from it. All right, so those loops you're going to wrap right around this peg here. Okay, just like so. Okay. Just making some space here. All right. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to take this first set of bands that are sticking out, okay? And we are going to wrap those around those 2 pegs, okay? We're going to take the next set of bands that are sticking out and wrap them around this set. We'll take the third one, wrap it around those 2 pegs, and let's do one more. So I went in order and I didn't skip any, okay? Alright, now let's put some horizontals. 2 green apple across those 3. This one we don't really need one. It's kind of unnecessary to do a double looped band there. Put 2 across there. Again here, we'll leave that one without one. Okay, and we're gonna, let's do the next set as well. So the next set of loose bands go around these 2 pegs. 2 bands there, and I'm going to take this red band off, 2 bands here. Okay, I'm just going to put that on again to remind myself. And we're going to start looping these, but we're not going to go all the way up, so just stay with me. Okay, I'm going to dig down under those bands I attached, and I'm going to grab those 2 diagonals. Okay, if your loops come off, you want to make sure you put them back around like that. Okay. Alright, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to loop all the way up to here, okay? So just watch, I'm going to go, just to avoid confusion, I'm just going to wrap those back around as if they didn't lift off, just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I looped up this set. It's nice and neat here, see how nothing's tangled up in there? Go up this one, this one, and one more. Okay, so stop there, and now we're going to do this diagonal from in here. Okay, now we're going to lift up this one, or sorry, loop up to the same row, okay? Let's get these 2 diagonals. 2, 3, okay, and I'm gonna get the next one, loop up 1, 2, okay, pause there, we're gonna lift up about 3 rows off the bottom, so just 3, watch it, 1, 2, 3, okay, stop there. Now, we're going to take the next set of loose loops here, wrap it around those 2, and we're going to do one more set, like so. Right, let's put the horizontals across, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 here. Okay, I'm going to pull this red band off. We're going to take one of our claws, okay, and we're going to attach the claw to here. Okay, So these 3 sets will go on these 3 pegs. You can pull these tying bands off later. You don't actually have to pull them off now. But if you want to avoid taking 20 minutes later to try to find them all and pull them off, well, maybe not that long. If you want to take the risk like I am to take them off and wrap them. Alright, so I'm going to loop up this guy a little more. So now we can go a little further up here. Notice how I'm not passing the set that has the horizontal bands. You don't want to pass those sets until there's horizontal bands there. Alright, now here we can grab that diagonal and loop it right over that peg. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to dig down and grab this one. This one. Okay, now I'm going to lift up 3 more sets from the bottom. So here's 1, here's 2, and very carefully, here is 3. Okay, we're going to take the next set and wrap it around those 2. 2 bands across, 2 bands across, and now we're just going to loop up the rest of the way. Right, let's tie off our ends. And now we can lift off the rest of the way. It should look something like that. Okay. All right, we're going to do the next part. Next rectangle. Okay. Right. So the next one is just fill the whole thing up. Okay. 2 at a time, going down each column, and then I just marked some pegs here, but you do not need to mark those unless you would like to. Totally optional. Alright, so I'm going to attach these bands to these 6 pegs. I'm going to take off the bands as I attach them. If you did not put those extra horizontal bands on the bottom row of part 1 of each section, you do not need to take these tying bands off till we pull the whole wing off. Okay, but if you're going to add the horizontal bands here like we did in part 1, if you did that, then we're going to again do the same thing and take them off as we wrap around. It is easier to not have to do this, to just skip a row of horizontals, but for me it always somehow looks a little uneven in the end if you don't put them in every single row. I know, I'm crazy. Haha. Alright, now this next part you're only going to do if you followed me exactly and we're doing the horizontals on the bottom row of part 1. Okay? If you did not, then do not do what I'm doing, okay? Because if you followed me, you should have an extra set of these bands on here. If not, you should notice, like if you pull your wing a little bit, there should be a space here, okay? So don't do what I'm doing right now if you didn't put horizontal bands on the bottom row of part 1. Okay. Those 2 loops will go across those 2 bottom pegs. Like so. Alright, let's do the next set. Right, so now, no matter what you did, you're going to follow me here. So we're going to take the next set in line. Okay, everybody's going to do this. Take the next set in line, wrap it there. Okay, maybe I'll do like, I'll do wrap around 4 times to start. Alright, horizontals, 2 at a time. I'm going to take this red band off. I'm going to put it back on in a moment. Alright, and I realize I need to do one more set. One more. Stretch it a little bit. Hopefully you're not using silicone bands. You'll have a fun time trying to attach those if you're doing silicone. Alright, we're going to take our next claw, so claw number 2, and that is going to go on these 3 pegs. Okay? So here we go. Alright, now we're going to loop all these sets up to here, to that row. Isn't this fun? Haha. Okay, now like we did before, we're going to lift up about 3 rows. There's 1, there's 2, and here is 3. Okay. So we're going to continue with grabbing the next set of bands, wrapping them around the 2 pegs in each row. adding those horizontals. Maybe let's do 3 at a time. Maybe that would be good. Let's try it. Alright, so now I'm going to loop up the 3 rows. So loop up 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to lift up 3 rows, kind of like a pattern. One, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, let's do the next few sets. So 1, 2, and 3. Right, 2 bands there, 2 bands there. Yeah, the wing's starting to fold over. 2 there. I'm gonna take this guy off momentarily. Put those on. 2 there and 2 there. Alright, we also have to do the last one. Okay, wait. So, if you did not attach the horizontal bands at the bottom of the rows, you should notice that there's a space here. Okay, you shouldn't have these 2 bands right next to these 2. There should be a little space. Okay? So you're not going to do what I'm about to do. Okay? Everybody else who followed me exactly, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take these 2 bands, bring them over the top here. Okay? This is going to be one of the most difficult parts of this tutorial. I'm just getting you ready for it. Don't ask me why I designed it this way. Alright. Okay. Now, no matter what you did, actually that wasn't the difficult part. The difficult part is attaching it in the next set. Okay, so now everybody's going to do this. Okay, you're going to take your claw, your last one, if you did 3 like me, and we're going to attach it to these 3 pegs. There's 1. Make sure you get all 4 loops. Okay, there's 2. And there's 3. Okay, now we have to tie this off. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. Actually, no, we're not tying it off. We have to loop up first. Ha! Just kidding. Loop up. I don't know what I'm talking about. Man, that would have been a disaster. I would have tied it off and tried to take it off and noticed that I didn't even loop these bands up. And bands would go flying everywhere. Okay, now we're going to tie off. Here we go. Okay, now we can pull off the rest. So now it should look like this. Okay, that's about how it should be looking. Okay. The next set is going to look like this. Okay. So you're going to go all the way down the first 3 columns. The 4th column you're going to go down to here, and then you're going to go do this diagonal and this one, and then go down here and down there. Okay? Alright, so now this part is going to be probably, I think, the most difficult part of the video, is just attaching these ends. If you have the horizontals in there with these, just trying to get through all the loops and attach them here is a little tricky. So I might take a few minutes to do that. Okay, so just be patient with me and be patient with yourself, because you want to make sure you get through all the loops. Okay, because you also have horizontals in there that you want to get through as well. So a good way to check to see if you've gotten through all of them is to just kind of pull on the bands and see if that tying band goes through the hole. Okay, goes all the way through the hole, like so. This one looks good. So this one I can just attach without taking the tying band off. Like, you can take it off if you want to, but you don't necessarily need to, because the horizontal bands are already in this set. Okay, alright. This one wasn't too horrible. Go through there. This next set is difficult because you want to get through 2, 4, 6, 8 there's 8 bands you need to get through. So sometimes it helps to go 2 at a time. See, even I have trouble and I need to take my time. Oops. Okay, so I got 3 sets so far. I got 3 more to go. Whew. It's like a marathon. You gotta pace yourself. Alright, 2 more. This one we also have to go through 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And last one here. This one hopefully won't be too difficult. Alright. Okay, pretty sure I got them all. But alright, here we go. So grab your why is there only 1 there? Did I like miss one? One must have fallen off when I was looming. I only have 1 right there. Okay, so you're gonna take the next set of, you should have 2, right? I only have 1. I don't know what happened. There, next 2 go there. Next 2 go there. And let's do 1 more for now. There we go. Alright, horizontals. 2 go across here. 2 across there. 2 across across there, and we'll do 2 across here. You don't need to do a double looped one there, it's not really necessary, but if you want to, feel free. Alright, let's start looping these up. So first that guy. Then we want to get these 2 sets, so there and there, and then we can go do the diagonals. Helps me to like kind of pull the bands, the other bands back. There we go, should be nice and neat in there, you shouldn't have a tangled up mess. Alright, I'm gonna go up to there, right? Don't go all the way up because we didn't do the horizontals there yet. 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna lift off 2 sets this time instead of 3 because I don't want to go too far up by accident. 1, and 2. Okay. Alright, let's do the next 2 sets. Oh, and before we do the next one, we gotta do the horizontal. So 2 there, 2 there. All right. Okay, lift up the next 2. There's 1. There's 2. Doing a pattern here. Loop 2, lift 2, loop 2, lift 2. Ooh, don't do that one. Yeah. My fault. I should have done that. Okay, next one. It's just, I'm just going to do the last one as well. There we go. Okay, now I can loop this guy. We're getting there now. Okay, tie off these ends. There's only 4 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look something like that. Okay. Now you can take off these bands, and hopefully you went through all the loops. You'll find out as you take them off whether you did or not, because I'll find out too. I'm gonna guess I missed one loop somewhere. Oof, that one turned out okay, good. That one turned out okay. This is always nerve-wracking. That one was okay. That one was okay, and that one. Oh, perfect. I actually didn't miss any. Yay! It's always wise good to do 2 bands at a time when you create things. That way if you miss a loop on one, at least the other one's still holding it. Alright, let's do the next part. Okay, so this is the point where we're going to start. For this last section, we're extending it down, so we have 3 more parts to do. So this part will be this, and then we have another one, and then a really small third part. Okay? Okay. So this, all this is just 2 at a time going down the first 4 rows. The 5th row you go 2 at a time down, but you'll stop here, and the 6th row you'll stop there, and then you'll do 2 that way and 2 that way. So we just start to get a little curve, and we're going to continue the curve in the next part. Alright, so we have 4 ends to attach here. Okay, I'm gonna lift off these first 2 sets. This is only if you did the horizontals at the bottom of each row in part 1. If you didn't, you don't need to do this part, because you should have a little space right here. Okay? If you followed me, you actually do have 2 bands there, and we will pull those across the first 2 pegs, replace those loops, and then we're also going to take off here, 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 and we're going to put 2 across there as well. Replace them. Alright, now everybody's going to follow what I do next, okay? Here we go, we're going to do the same. This is the same concept. We're just taking those 2 bands at the end, wrapping them around the 2 pegs. Let's do one more. Important not to do too many at a time, because then you'll really stretch your bands out, and you don't want to do that. That's why I do little sections at a time. Alright, do our horizontals. You don't need a horizontal here unless you really want to. I think it's unnecessary. Alright, we're going to take 2 bands and stick them right here. Okay. Alright, let's loop up to those sets that we have the horizontals on at the top. So first the diagonal. Go back down and get this diagonal. Go up to there. Okay, let's go up these. right now I'm going to take 2 of the same green, the apple green, and I'm going to go through this peg, pull them through, grab the other ends, and just take a random band and do a slip knot, kind of how we did in the first part of the wing. Okay, so there's an extra set kind of just hanging off that peg. Alright. Okay, I'm going to lift up, let's do 2 sets. Let's lift up 2 sets, 2 rows. 1, 2. Alright, take the next set of horizontals and also the next one. And you should have 5 sets remaining, so if you don't, then you did something wrong, but hopefully it's not so bad that it skews the design in the end. Alright, same thing with these 2 sets. We're going to do the extra bands hanging off on the end. Alright, and we're going to lift off 2 more sets. 2 more rows. There's 1. There is 2. Alright. Alright, next. 2 there. 2 there. Oh, we gotta put on our 2 bands at the end. Okay, lift off 2 more rows. Alright, let's just finish this off and do the last 3 sets. Okay, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. We're getting there, guys. We're so close to finishing this wing. So now it looks kind of like this. You might be reminded of Saphira's wing at this point because this is kind of how I ended hers. But for his, we're going to continue and make it a little longer. Okay. Alright, so the next section looks like this. Okay. So you just take 2 at a time down, and then the last part you do is these. Okay, so starting with this one and then going down. Okay. No cap band required. Alright, so here I'm going to take that extra set we made again. Right, so you're going to go through those loops of the extra set. Okay, we're going to pull off that tying band and we're going to wrap those loops right around this peg here. Okay, then you're going to take this set of horizontals. See, there's a space, there's supposed to be. Wrap them around these two. Next two go around there. Next two go around there. If you really want to, just go all the way. Oops. If not, you could do it step by step like I did before, but I want to get this over with at this point. I've been doing this for too long. Okay, again, we don't need to do a horizontal here or here. Okay, and I'm just going to put 2 bands there and 2 more right there. Alright, let's do it. Let's loop this. We're so close to being done. Of course, my screen went black. Hopefully, it's still recording. Hold on, guys. I gotta fix my screen. Give me one moment. I really gotta update my filming methods. Alright, still going. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Tie off these ends. We're going to take 2 bands and just Again, I turned my loom upside down. We're going to pull them through this corner peg here and just tie it off. We're almost done, guys. We got one more tiny section to do. Won't take us any time at all. And then we just got to put the veins in, which actually isn't too bad, I don't think. Once you get the point of putting wing veins on a wing, it's pretty simple. Like this. Okay, and we just got a tiny bit to do right here. So this one you can do with a single loom. Alright, so 3 sets down, 2 sets down, 1 set down, diagonal, diagonal. Alright, take that edge set we added. You can take off that tying band and just wrap that right around this peg, and then you're going to take that first set of 2 bands around there and the next set around those 2. Now here you're going to put a double looped band right here, because if you don't, it's just going to have this awkward space when you take the wing off, so this is like really the only spot on that membrane that we put a double looped band. Alright, so we're going to loop the diagonals, and then we're going to go up. Alright, and we're also just going to take 2 more, just in this little corner again. This is going to serve, oops, this is going to serve as that final diagonal to kind of just bring the whole thing together. So I'm just going to try that again. Whoops. And we want to, of course, tie off the other 3 ends. Oh, I'm so excited. There we go. Woohoo! Okay. Alright, so if your claws and stuff are kind of just bending inward, you can actually take your hook, go through some bands, and pull them back so they're not bending in as much. You can kind of adjust the direction they're going just by using your hook and pulling. So see, that's a little better. This top part might be a little tricky because it's a lot more bands in there, but when we wire up the wings, that'll help fix that anyway. Okay. It's not going to lay perfectly flat, but it's fine. Alright, so now we just got to put the veins in, right? So I'm going to use the peridot, the dark green. I'm going to take 2 at a time. Okay. So this first vein, we're going to go straight down from the claw to this 3rd one here. Okay. The other 2 we go out and then down, and we'll do that together. So take 2 bands. You're going to kind of lift up the claw, and you'll see that right underneath, between the dark and light green, there's like a space. The space right underneath that claw. Okay. You're going to stick your hook through that space from the back of the wing to the front. You're going to take those 2 green bands and you're going to pull them through so that they're halfway through the back and halfway through the front, like that. Flip the wing with your finger still through the 2 loops, and you're going to take your hook and you're going to go through the next space down. Okay, so right now I'm through here. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to stick it through the next space going down. Flip the wing back and grab the loops on your hook. We're going to take the next two bands, pull the first set over, pull the hook through, and then you're going to pull those two bands through the first two. And then again with your hook, you're going to open up the next space straight down, go through, and grab those bands again. So it's kind of like just kind of a method. We're just kind of attaching. Oops. Sometimes you'll mess up. Just take your time. You want to go. Messed up. No, that's fine. See, even I have trouble sometimes. It's kind of like a back and forth thing. You'll have to flip the wing several times as you do this. Going straight down, straight down. It's kind of like creating just a old-fashioned rainbow loom bracelet, but just going through other bands as you do it. Okay. The basic rainbow loom bracelet, that's what we're making essentially on the wing. We're just going through other sets. Okay, so here I'm at the point where it transitions into the claw. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm like right before the claw here. Okay, see where I am? Kind of, sort of. Okay. I'm going to go into the center set on the end of the claw. So there's going through the regular loops of the bands out through the other side. Okay, and the next one I'm going to go through the middle as well. So the next set of bands going through the middle, try your best to go straight through them so that the hook comes out in the middle on the other side as well. There we go. Next one, you're going to go in between the two sets, in between. Okay, next one, you're going to skip these two and go to, well, you can do one through here if you want, doesn't really matter. I just try to be consistent with all of them. Go through that set of 3 of the light green. And then we're going to do, okay, and now we're going to go through the dark green set. At this point, when you're there, okay, so you're through the dark green, you're going to just take one single band, pull that single band through, and wrap one end around this claw, other end around the same claw, going the opposite direction to kind of just keep it in place. That is what I have discovered is the best way for me to do it. And when you look at it, you should have a vein, both sides going straight down to that claw. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how we're going to do the next one because we have to kind of curve over and go down. So we're going to start in the same spot. So same spot we started before, stick your hook through from bottom to top. Okay, we're going to take 2 bands, pull it through, And now, instead of going down, we're going to start going diagonally. So you're going to go through the space next to this one. Okay, same thing again. So we're going to pull 2 bands through. What did I do? Okay, and we're going to go down 1 over 1. Okay, same thing with the next 2. Alright, so down 1 over 1. So far I have 3 sets on there. This is the 4th. Okay, down 1 over 1. Okay, down 1 over 1. Okay, so right now I have 5 sets. I'm going to do 2 more going diagonally. Yeah, so tricky. Sometimes getting this through without catching a band you don't want to catch. Okay, down 1 over 1. And down 1 over 1. Okay, so at this point, you should see that if you went straight up from this claw, you should be like straight. So now we're going to go straight all the way down. So we went diagonal and now we're going to go straight down. Okay, when we get to this point, we're going to do the same thing we did in the first claw, going through the same sets that we went through in the first claw. What did I do? Oh, I pulled 2. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do 1. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, the last band goes around both sides of the claw. Alright, 2 done, 1 to go. Alright, so this third one is going to be the same thing, but instead of going over one, down one, we're going to go over two, down two, over two, down two, until we're right above, and then we go straight down, just like we did with this one. So same thing, starting in the same spot, pull 2 bands through, and we're going to go into the next set over from the first one. Okay, now we're going to go down 1 over 2. I'm sorry, it's down 1 over 2, not down 2 over 2, down 1 over 2. My apologies. Down 1 over 2. No! No, you fool! Redo. There we go. Alright, so down 1 over 2. Man, this is not working. Work! It's just tricky, like the angle of this, like trying to get it to go over and then pull it through, it can be a little bit annoying. Okay. Down 1 over 2. Blech. Come on, Firnen, work for me. I always end up pulling like a random green band through as well, like a light green one. I have to just okay, down 1 over 2. Alright, I've got, I think I just have to do one more and then I can go straight down after this one. Let's see. Down 1 over 2. Okay, yeah. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're going to go straight down. Same thing with this one, was also 7, so it works out that way. Okay, so when you get to the claw, it's the same thing that you did for the other claws. Alright, so it should look like this when you are done. Beautiful, beautiful wing. A lot of work, but if you agree, it's totally worth the effort in the end. Alright, so lucky you, you get to go back and make your second one. Alright, so go back to part 1. Again, remember to make it symmetrical, if possible, so that they're bending in opposite directions. You can technically do it the same way you just did this one. They're just both going to end up bending the same way in the end, but that's not a big deal, because, well, it's not a big deal. So you can do it that way if you really don't feel like doing symmetry. Okay? Yay, wings are done, so go ahead to part 3, and we will begin working on his legs. Okay? Alright, see you over there, everybody. Good job.